Hey everybody, this is Anthony from Anthony's Horror and More, and I just want to show you guys a few pickups that I made recently. That I went to Best Buy over the last couple of weeks, or I went to Target or Walmart or one of the other 8 million places to get physical media, or Amazon, of course. So I'm just gonna go over a few of those movies with you guys. So first up, we have The Craft, which is what I actually got in the background there. This is from Scream Factory, I'm sure a boutique label that most of you guys know by now, especially if you're into horror and physical media collecting. Everybody knows Scream Factory. Yeah, I really enjoy this movie a lot. I think it's, I think you got, four strong, female badasses here, and I love their look, And, you got Neve Campbell, of course, from Scream and everything. And this, I believe, was actually before she was on Scream. I think she, because both these movies were filmed in 1996. I think she filmed this, and then I think she went on to Scream afterwards, I believe. And you also have Skeet Ulrich, and, he also went on to be in Scream as well. So, really fun movie. You got four, just regular, high school Catholic, girls going, they get picked on a lot and, treated pretty shitty, pretty shittily. And, they go on to learn witchcraft and, get even with people that, picked on them or, what have you. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's got some, it's rated R, but it's funny because it's not there's not like a ton of bad language or gore or anything like that, but there are some disturbing things about it. And I think it's just because it's like four teens practicing witchcraft. I think back then in the 90s, they had to make a movie like this rated R just based on that, because I believe this was originally intended to be PG-13, but because it's four teens practicing witchcraft and it's dark material, the MPAA had to make it R, I believe. So but it's good. It's a good movie, solid watch, Get that back in there. And then we got Escape from New York. John Carpenter classic right here, starring Kurt Russell. Oh, and by the way, neither of these Scream Factories have reversible cover art, sadly. I do like the way they're packaged. I like the slipcover on them, but it would have been nice if they had added a reversible artwork to it. But, it is what it is. I still really like the uniformity to it, I like that look, like that with the original poster art and then the banner up front there. I think that looks cool. So it is what it is, It would have been cool if they put some reversible artwork in there as well, but you get, it is what it is. Yeah, this is another, I've only seen this movie once, and it was actually fairly recently. I think it was only like a year ago or something like that. And it was really good. I was surprised. John Carpenter scored it, so it sounds amazing. It's got amazing music. Kurt Russell's always charming. He's just got that charisma to him that just, oozes off the screen. So it's just so easy. It's such an easy watch. And then, yeah, it's got a really good cast all the way around. And, it's got the one woman from the Fog. I forgot her name, but I know she was, she was in the Fog. She was the radio talk show person. She's in this as well. And it's got a bunch of John Carpenter staple actors in it. And Donald Pleasance from Halloween, of course. It's got Donald Pleasance as well, But yeah, just fun action, adventure, really cool practical effects. I like the little models that they make in there, to capture like New York, you know, because obviously they didn't have a ton of money to shoot this film, so they made these little miniatures, like a miniature display of New York City, and it has like the Twin Towers, and you know, it's really cool. Like I like how they did it. Kind of reminds me of like Terminator 2, how they made all those miniature models, you know, that you know in the future. So yeah, I really dig that. You know, I'm a huge John Carpenter fan, so almost everything of his I enjoy watching. So this is no exception, you know. And like I said, it's a beautiful release. Scream Factory did a great job with this, you know. Yeah. And yeah, I look forward to watching that one again. That's for sure. Let's see. And then I got this Extreme Prejudice. I've never seen this before. I have absolutely no idea what this is about. But it's got Nick Nolte in it, and it's got Powers Booth. And that's all I need to know. So, you know, it looks like a modern day Western, you know, set in the 80s, so modern for back then. And I just expect a lot of shoot 'em ups and, you know, a lot of good fight scenes, action scenes, maybe some car chases or something. I don't know, you know, like, I mean, I see that Jeep right there, you know, so maybe we'll get like some cool chase or something in there. But it's just such a nice release. I mean, this is Vestron, and their movies are dirt cheap. They're only like $12. You know, you get this really nice slipcover and everything. So it's like, how do you go wrong, you know? And let's see. And then we got Jurassic Park. And, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I always forget. It's the same artwork on the inside as well. So just so you know, and no reversible on this either. Yeah, no reversible on that. But I like that artwork a lot. I think that looks good. And then we got Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, which or not Jurassic World, The Lost World. Sorry, we got Jurassic Park and The Lost World, which are they're the two Jurassic Park movies that I love the most. You know, I wasn't a big fan of 3. Jurassic World was okay. And Jurassic World Dominion, it was okay. I mean, you know, nothing really special. Chris Pratt's funny, he's always charming, you know, but he kind of plays that same character in all of his movies. I like Chris Pratt, but I kind of just prefer him in Star-Lord, and that's about it, you know. It would be nice to see him in a different type of role, maybe like a horror movie role, or, you know, just something else. It just seems like he always plays the same type of character, and the shtick's just gotten old for me. But, you know, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, they're still fun, you know, the beautiful CGI, and, you know, they are fun to look at. I just don't really care for the story as much. But these two, I love the story, you know. The first one's a classic, of course. You know, same artwork in there. And, you know, if you haven't seen Jurassic Park, I mean, I'm sure most of you guys have, but if you haven't, definitely check this movie out. I mean, you know, Steven Spielberg, even the CGI and everything that they used back then for the dinosaurs and everything looks phenomenal, even to today's standards, which is like crazy how that works. But I know they used a good amount of practical effects too. There were definitely some good practical effects being used in this movie, but like the Triceratops, that's sick, you know, and all that, you know, that just looked like an animatronic, and that looks stunning. I mean, that's beautiful. I prefer practical effects over CGI, but I understand why you do have to use CGI in a lot of movies nowadays, you know. And then, yeah, Jurassic Park, The Lost World. You know, you got Vince Vaughn, and you've got, am I blanking on his name? You can tell I don't rehearse these at all. I just kind of jump right into it. Jeff Goldblum, that's his name. You got Jeff Goldblum returning, and he stars in this. And yeah, like I said, you have Vince Vaughn and Julianne Moore, and this is just a lot of fun. You know, they go back to the island. You know, they're taking pictures, and then of course all hell breaks loose, and then you know, they rescue a baby T-Rex, you know, to try to help it because it got caught in a trap or something. It hurt its leg, and then of course the parents aren't happy because they can hear their baby crying, so they go and they attack Jeff Goldblum and Vince Vaughn, all those characters. It's a really fun. It's one of the best scenes in the movie. I love it. And then you have all these guys that are sent to the island to capture the dinosaurs and bring them back, and it's they're I really like that. I like that whole storyline, because then you just start getting all the, in classic like horror movie, fashion, they start getting picked off one by one, all these guys, and it's really entertaining. And Vince Vaughn's very funny in the movie, of course, and it's really good. And it's one of Vince Vaughn's, well, I was gonna say one of his earlier roles, but I guess it's not, because he's been doing movies for a while. But it's funny because he looks so young in this movie as well. So, but great movie if you haven't seen The Lost World. But that's kind of where I stop. I like Jurassic Park, I like The Lost World, and then I'm good after that. You can watch the other ones. To me, they're just not nearly as good. And then this is a new one, The Cursed. I haven't seen this movie yet either. I gotta put it in. But I heard it's really good. For the most part. Some people say it's a little too slow and that the special effects don't look as great as they could. They just don't really hold up. But I love that cover art on that. That is insane. It looks so nice. Love that. And it's the same on the inside as well. But yeah, I love a good werewolf movie. An American Werewolf in London. Love it. The Howling, love it. Dog Soldiers, also great. And I believe Ryan Gosling is going to be playing the Wolfman at some point. I don't know if that's still going to happen or what, but he's set to play the Wolfman. So hopefully we get that movie at some point. I'd love to see Ryan Gosling as the Wolfman. I think he would kill that role, especially if you use, like I said, please use practical effects or a mix of practical and CGI. I hope they don't go too big budget on us and just, I think the bigger the budget you have with horror movies is just not great. Just keep it, to a minimum, because the more money you get, the more they tend to go the CGI route, and I just hate it. So I kind of hope it's got a low budget, but yeah, I look forward to that whenever it comes out, because we don't get too many good werewolf movies. Oh, and there goes my craft thing. I guess that was I just put that on to have something to look at, besides my ugly face or whatever. I have something cool in the background. But and then the next movie I got is everybody's favorite movie, apparently, Moonfall. I got the Lionsgate Steelbook for this, and it's got this is just such a cool slipcover. Look at this thing, And then look at the back. Kind of reminds me of like when Krypton got blown up, Superman's home planet. Doesn't that kind of remind you of that? I don't know. This is what every time I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, Moonfall, I did watch this movie. It's not nearly as bad as everybody makes it out to be. It's your typical disaster movie. Yeah, it's not great. It's not as good as I like 2012 a lot better, and I liked I'm trying to think of what other ones, because this is Roland Emmerich, and he's known for doing all those disaster movies, but I enjoy them. They're fun. This was fun. Nothing to write home about. It does get a little weird at the end, but I kind of like that. I like it when movies get weird, do try for something different, and this definitely tried for something different in the third act. So it was okay. I just think that I just didn't really care for the majority of the characters. The main three are good, but then you have the guy's son, and then you got a little kid in there, and his acting's okay, but it's not great. Then you got a bunch of these side actors that I don't know. It's just I don't really care for any of the side actors in this. It's really the main three that are on the shuttle trying to save our planet. They're the ones that I really like. And it's got the guy from, I forgot his name, the guy from the Conjuring movies, the lead from those movies. And it's got wow, I can't think of her name. It's because as soon as the camera turns on, my mind goes blank. But it's got it. You know, it's a solid movie. I mean, there they are right there. I could have just showed you that. Those are the lead three. Those are the main three people right there. Um, you know, and yeah, Patrick Wilson, that's his name. God, that was gonna drive me crazy. Halle Berry, of course, you know, and John Bradley, who, you know, was in Game of Thrones. I really liked that. I think that he's a pretty good actor. He was really good in this. He was actually my favorite character in this movie, besides maybe Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson's just always so good on screen. But yeah, I thought that John Bradley guy did a really good job. He was phenomenal in Game of Thrones too. So I don't know, watch out for him. And this movie, well, I don't want to spoil anything, but you know, it does kind of, at the end, it leaves more to be desired. Let's say, you know, you could build more into this world if you wanted to, but I don't think they're going to, because I don't think this movie did very well. I mean, I could be wrong, but just going by audience reaction alone, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's going to get a sequel, but you never know. And then we have these are the steelbooks I'm going through now too. So we got Smokin' Aces. I love Smokin' Aces. This movie is phenomenal, and this movie's got a ton of well-known actors in it. And usually movies that tend to have that many well-known actors, I don't know what it is, but they don't always end up being very good. You know, I've seen a lot of movies where you've had like this huge cast, and then it's just a dud, you know. But this movie's got a great cast, and everybody in it's phenomenal. You know, no, every single person gets, you know, it moves fast. This has a very brisk speed. So if you're not paying attention to it, like in the opening, like 15 minutes or whatever, you might get a little, I mean, you'll get the basic concept of it, but it does go fast. It doesn't, you know, it's on the move. I mean, you could almost do an entire series based on this if you really wanted to. And this movie feels like it fits into the John Wick universe, because it's you know, basically you have this guy played by Jeremy Piven right here. His name's Buddy Israel, and all these guys are trying to kill him, you know. So you have a bunch of assassins that are all being paid to go find and kill Jeremy Piven's character. And they'll get paid like $1 million basically to whoever gets them. And you have Ryan Reynolds and Ray Liotta playing the cops, trying to stop this from happening, obviously. And you know, you've got Ben Affleck in here. You've got Common, he's great in this. I really like Common in this role. He's good, and he was in John Wick too. I'm telling you, you could do a crossover. It's kind of funny, but because this movie feels like it could be in the John Wick universe. But yeah, Common's great. Ryan Reynolds is fantastic. Ray Liotta, Ben Affleck is. I mean, it's just the entire cast is so good. You got Jason Bateman has a small role in this. It's crazy. I mean, there's just you know, you'll be watching the movie and you'll be like, that guy's in this, that guy's in it, that guy's in it. Oh my God, who's not in this movie? But you got great action scenes. You know, a lot of blood, a lot of gore, you know, just everything you want in a rated R movie. And it moves fast. I mean, I think it's about an hour and 45 minutes, hour and 50 minutes, something like that. And it just goes by, it flies by. And you might be thinking by the end of it, you know, like, God, I don't know, they didn't do enough character development, or there wasn't enough, or the story was a little too crazy. But it's fun. I'm telling you guys, they don't make movies like this anymore. This is a fun action movie. They do not. I miss the days of like these type of action movies. Now you get dumb stuff that goes directly to Netflix, you know, and it's PG-13, there's no blood, it's all CGI blood when you do get it, it looks fake as shit. I mean, I can't stand it. You know, I miss the days of 90s, 80s action movies, and this was the early 2000s. I mean, I don't know, but I miss those days. I miss the cliffhangers, the diehards, the lethal weapons. I miss all those. you just don't get better action movies than that. Speed, I mean, God, you just. So this movie, when it came out, I was just like, oh, a good action movie, with just, like I said, a lot of practical effects, and it was just a lot of fun. So this is a high recommend for me, because I feel like this movie gets no love, and I would get. You don't have to get the steelbook, you can just go get the regular 4K release. But I think the steelbook looks great. I really do. You know. So I don't know. Give it a shot. It might surprise you. And then the last movie, but certainly not least, is Friday the 13th, Part 3. Be right back. I love this movie. All the Friday the 13th movies I love. I mean, I've got the box set. I've got the Scream Factory box set back there. And now I'm collecting all the steelbooks, so they're getting my money, again. But it's fine, because these are only like $15. They're so cheap, and honestly, if you wait, a couple, a month or whatever, it'll probably go down to $12. I mean, you just can't beat it, and it's such a nice steelbook. It's a nice glossy finish, a nice gloss finish, and it just looks good. I believe it's the same transfer as the Scream Factory ones. I could be wrong, but I think it's like that same transfer. But it looks good. I mean, it looks really good. It's a Blu-ray. It looks great. Out of all the movies, though, I'll be honest, I haven't watched this copy yet. I haven't watched this version, so I'll have to watch. But the Scream Factory version, it did have some artifacts and some. I think you call them artifact, or just dirt on the film. I guess is maybe a better way of saying it. Like, where you those little specks of, you can see it when you're watching it. And it's okay. It kind of adds to it. I don't mind grain and dirt and stuff like that on there, but you can really notice it on Part 3. You can, out of all the movies, you can really notice it on Friday the 13th, Part 3. Like I said, I haven't watched this version yet. Maybe it'll be different. Maybe they improved it a little bit more. I don't know, but it's still fine. Like I said, it kind of adds to it because it's the 80s. It's fun, you know what I mean? You want that grain and stuff. I'm just saying it is more noticeable in this movie than the others. But this movie is a ton of fun. I mean, you got some great kills in this movie. I'm sure everybody watching this has seen it. I mean, the guy that gets split down the middle is a classic kill from this movie. Jason uses damn near every barn tool that you can imagine to kill people in this movie. Yeah, I mean, I love Richard Brooker's portrayal of Jason in this movie. I think he does a phenomenal job. I like his, that kind of hunchback thing he's got going on, and he looks so imposing. He's so tall, he's massive, and when he first gets his hockey mask in this movie, which I'm sure most of you guys know. But yeah, he first gets the hockey mask in this movie, but I'll tell you what, the scariest is when he takes the hockey mask off in this movie. That's the scariest to me. When he takes that hockey mask off and he just has that, he's smiling, he's got all those crooked teeth and all that, and, his head's all, misshaped, and, that's terrifying to me. And then, the lead girl, Chris, when she thinks she's gotten away and he's just looking out that window, smiling, he's so excited to go get her. I mean, it turns out, I guess it was a dream, at the end, but still, it's terrifying. It's this to me is the scariest I think Jason's been in terms of looks, for me at least. It's just unsettling. I don't know. There's something about it. They did a great job with that makeup. I love it. But I love all the Jason movies. They're all good to me. Even the newer ones. I even like Jason Goes to Hell. I like the remake a lot, and that gets shit on all the time. The one I like the least would be Freddy versus Jason, but just because I feel like they kind of disrespect Jason in that movie. He should have had. They should have got somebody else to play him, Kane Hodder or somebody or they should have instructed the guy who did play him to be a little bit, give it a little bit more personality. There's really no personality in the Jason from Freddy versus Jason. He's just kind of, you know, this robotic Frankenstein kind of Jason. There's no, like, when you watch Jason in New Blood, you know, Friday the 13th Part 7 New Blood, there's so much personality that he's got. He's got so much swagger in that movie. Same thing with Part 8. You know, Kane Hodder just really brought something to it. So, but so did Richard Brooker and Ted White. I mean, all of them did, you know. It just felt like they were telling the guy in Freddy vs. Jason, just play it stiff. Just don't do anything, you know, just be robotic with all your movements. And I just didn't care for that. But like I said, I still enjoy it. It's still a fun movie. And even though Jason's, you know, kind of robotic in that, I still enjoy it, because Freddy is actually Freddy. That's more of Freddy's movie than anything else, you know. But yeah, that's my haul, and yeah, you know, if you like this video, you know, give it a thumbs up, you know, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you picked up, and, you know, when you went to Best Buy or Target or Amazon, from wherever, you know, let me know. And yeah, I'll try to bring more videos, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye.